If you asked SA Hip Hop who was running the new generation, a lot of people would have said LaCabra, the leader of the Qwellers, the self-proclaimed Mr. Bully, the face of one of the strongest movements in the country. But then something happened. A rapper from Umlazi started taking over everything. The streams, the charts, the conversations, the diss tracks, and suddenly people started asking a different question. Is LaCabra actually bigger on the streets than Usimamane, or has Usimamane completely taken that crown? Let's talk.
I don't care about ukuduma going internationally. Isn't there kanjalo? I used to care about things like that before, like wanting to go international, making music that's gonna touch South Africa. I don't care anymore. Now I'm making music for South Africa. I'm focused on South Africa. Whoever wants to fuck with us has to come to us.
Yes.
South Africa. Boss.
Now, before anybody gets angry in the comments, this isn't really a story about who's the better rapper. It's about influence, respect, and who actually moves the culture right now. Because if we're being honest, LaCabra and Usimamane represents two completely different versions of success. One built a movement and the other became a movement. LaCabra's rise wasn't normal. He didn't blow up alone. He came up through the Qwellers, a collective that built one of the strongest cult fan bases in South African hip-hop. And for a while, it felt like they were everywhere. Every timeline, every underground conversation, every new wave discussion, people weren't just fans. They were part of the movement. And that's where the phrase "quelling it" started becoming a thing, Ansar. And LaCabra sat right at the center of it. Meanwhile, Usimamane's rise looked completely different. He wasn't building a collective, he was building himself. Coming out of Umlazi, he slowly transformed from a promising rapper into one of the biggest artists in South Africa. And once Check exploded, everything changed. Suddenly, this wasn't just another street rapper. This was a commercial monster. Triple platinum records, millions of streams, packed venues, and eventually, international attention. That's where the debate really started. Because fans began asking what matters more, a loyal movement or actual mainstream dominance. Supporters of LaCabra argued that numbers don't tell the whole story. They believe street influence can be measured by Spotify streams. And honestly, they do have a point. Because some artists have huge numbers but zero cultural impact. Meanwhile, LaCabra built something deeper. A community, a brotherhood, a movement that feels bigger than music, bro. But then, I have one question. If the movement was that powerful, why didn't Mr. Bully dominate the charts? And that's where things get a little bit uncomfortable. Because when LaCabra finally stepped out with a major solo moment, many people expected him to completely take over. The hype was there, the anticipation was there, the features were there, the big ones. But the commercial explosion never really happened.
You know, he got Nasty C, he got Aries on his tape, you know. Naturally, you would think that's supposed to push numbers. Like that's an instant hit. That's an instant, you know, the easy way to the mainstream, right? Brother Cooper only had Jay Katana and maybe a couple of features that maybe I'm missing. I do not know, but I know it was mostly Brother Cooper on that tape. Understand, he did not have those guys, and he went number one easy within a day. I think even less than 24 hours. Dude, I do not know how many hours, but Brother Cooper did it. This is showing us that you do not need an Aries, you don't need a Nasty C no more. The game has changed.
And immediately, people started comparing him to Usimamane. Because while LaCabra was trying to prove himself as a solo star, Usimamane was already operating like one. Then the beef happened, and everything became personal, bro. Suddenly, it wasn't just fans debating. The artists themselves were talking. LaCabra questioned Usimamane and Usimamane questioned LaCabra. These tracks started flying, bro. Interviews started surfacing. And one specific story refused to disappear. The VIP section incident. According to Usimamane, LaCabra was removed from his section at an event. Whether people believe the story or not, the damage was already done, bro. Because for somebody carrying the Mr. Bully image, that's not exactly the headline you want following you around.
Yeah, and I got there, LaCabra tried to dab me and I didn't want to. Because I'm really not with that internet thingy where it's just going to be beef on the internet. If we're beefing for real. So he tried to do all of that, came to my section. I had this bodyguard guy, and I had my team, so it was like 7 guys there. So when he came to dap me up, give me a hug, I removed his hand from me.
Damn.
Yeah. And then he tried, he kept pushing it like, yo, what's wrong? I was like, yeah, just tell this guy that I don't want to talk to him. And then, because he knew my team, he still was like, bro, come on. So Big Mike picked him up and threw him off.
Hey man, I'm chatting like.
Yeah, like I'm touching John Big, not to some touch and then tossed him. So it really started there.
Usimamane understood something important. In rap battles, you don't just attack the music, you attack the image. And that's exactly what happened. Instead of focusing only on bars, he challenged LaCabra's authority, his influence, his position, his entire persona. And suddenly, fans were looking at Mr. Bully differently. I mean LaCabra. Not everybody, but enough people. And I would like to say a big shout out to the New Gen podcast and especially Steve for showing love to the channel.
Mine are different because I normally watch them on YouTube. I don't know if you guys know Brando RSA.
Yeah, I know Brando.
And YL Talks.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Those are my 2 favorite hip hop commentators right now because they're not grifters and they're not
they don't
biased.
have their face.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the video. Then came another uncomfortable reality. Crew power versus solo power. Because these debates follows LaCabra everywhere. Is LaCabra powerful because he's LaCabra or because he's leading one of the strongest collectives in the country? It's not a disrespectful question, it's just actually a fair one. Because when people talk about LaCabra, they almost always mention the Qwellers too. Meanwhile, when the people talk about Usimamane, they only talk about Usimamane. And that difference matters, especially in modern hip-hop, where individual star power often decides everything. Then you look at the numbers, the awards, the streams, the international cosigns, the commercial success, and it became difficult to argue against Usimamane's momentum. Because right now, he's not just winning conversations, he's winning markets. But here is where things get interesting though. Street respect and commercial success ain't always the same thing. Sometimes the most influential artist isn't the one doing the biggest numbers. Sometimes the artist changing the culture is the one inspiring everybody else. And that's why LaCabra still matters. Because whether people love him or hate him, his fingerprints are all over the new wave. He helped build a scene, a movement, a sound, a generation. But the reality is, the game has changed now, bro. Today, the question isn't whether LaCabra is important, because yeah, he clearly is. The question is whether his influence is still bigger than Usimamane's. And depending on who you ask, you will get 2 completely different answers. Some people see LaCabra as the heart of the movement, others see Usimamane as the future of it. And maybe that's why this debate refuses to die, because one represents the culture and the other represents dominance. It's like Casper and AKA, if you understand. And right now, South African hip-hop is still trying to decide which one matters more. So the real question is, who actually owns the streets? Is it Mr. Bully or the rapper everybody suddenly started calling the real bully, Usimamane?
But he been saying, and I just didn't like the fact that he thinks that he's better than me in any way. Like, he's not better than me. Trap-wise, rap-wise, singing-wise, money-wise, girls-wise, I don't care. You'll never be better than me too.
How'd you know,
Sorry, bro.
girls wise? Have you seen these shorties?
Dog. You see my shawty? Oh, bro.